I helped 60 realtors get 476 clients to show that it's not just the market. The first one made $370,000 in GCI. The next one made over $200K as a brand new agent. And the third made $500,000, all while being semi-retired. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how we were able to help these realtors get a consistent lead flow using a repeatable process that anyone can do. So whether you're just starting out or you're a business that's already successful but wants to scale and automate, this video is for you. I'm going to break down our exact client acquisition system so that you can see how to get consistent real estate deals that make you more money without having to prospect. Let's dive in. All right, so the number one thing that's actually going to allow us to achieve, that rapid and consistent growth, consistency being the key word there, is going to be controlled acquisition. So because so many agents are entirely reliant on like their sphere, word of mouth, referrals, that kind of thing, there's a lot of unpredictability in the real estate business. Not knowing where your next client's going to come from, all your attention shifts towards, helping that client get to the closing table, and taking care of them, making sure that they have a good experience, they finally close, and then you look around and you have no idea where the next one's going to come around. There's a lot of uncertainty in this business, and that's why so many agents aren't even able, you may make a ton of money one month, and then, scale up your lifestyle a ton. You're buying new cars, you're buying houses, things like that. I've seen a lot of agents actually go under, water on their mortgage because they think that they make more money than they actually do, because they have one great year or they have a 6 months where things are really, really good and they think it's going to stay like that. But, once their sphere stops being as fruitful as it was at one point, which is completely normal, your sphere is not a consistent, flow of business. And so, they run into issues and they end up, biting off more than they can chew, essentially. And so we've developed this strategy, and there are a lot of different ways that you can actually generate that consistency. But the strategy that we use is a very, very controlled method of acquiring new clients. So it's built up of three main pillars. There's the front end, where the top of the funnel, essentially, which is where we're just getting in as many, buyers or sellers as leads as we possibly can. And when I say leads, we're talking about names, phone numbers, emails. These are people who opt in to, a piece of marketing material, whether it be about potentially selling their house or it be more about on the buying side. They want to see a list of properties in their area, things like that. It's all about getting people into your actual funnel. Now, once you have people in your funnel, you're going to actually need to convert them, and it becomes impossible for agents to actually do this when they're generating volume. And that's something that we focus on with this strategy. Is it's all about data, it's all about numbers, it's all about volume. And that's why we put together this calculator here. I actually made another video breaking down exactly how this works and how you can, use it yourself to figure out exactly what you need to do in order to, hit your deal volume goal, and exactly how much you need to be spending on marketing in order to actually make that happen. But the point of this is to get as many people in the door as possible, or specifically the right amount of people in the door based on, what, national conversion rates are around real estate. So, statistically speaking, conversion rates typically range between, 1 and 4% when it comes to online leads. Sometimes it's, even less than that. And that's going to differ from platform to platform, as well as the style of marketing that you're actually doing. But it's pretty on par exactly with what we see, on the marketing platforms that we use. So you can see some data here that I have plugged in. This is a bunch of different, batches of like marketing campaigns that we've run for a bunch of the different agents that we're partnered with. You can see kind of the average cost per lead will usually sit between $5 and $10. Sometimes we've been able to get it even lower than that, which is great. Some markets are just a lot more healthy than others, but for the most part, you're always going to be able to crack the code on your ads and keep that cost per lead, below $10. And then, if you want to keep optimizing for quality, if you're not able to make as many calls or you don't have somebody in place to make those calls for you, then you're going to want to be optimizing for quality, asking more questions, using conditional logic on, your lead forms or your landing pages, whatever you're doing that people are actually using to opt in to, get into your system, into your CRM, then, you can make adjustments based on exactly what you're trying to do here. But the strategy that we deploy is consisted of, the front end marketing, getting as many people in the door as possible, then using an ISA filtration system. And this is where you have a caller, another agent in your office, or, you could find someone overseas for very cheap, but you got to be very, very careful about who you employ because you want them to understand the US real estate market. So if we ever hire an ISA that's working out of the country, we make sure that they are very well versed in the United States real estate market, because that's very, very important for them to be able to have have these conversations if you're going to be able to relate to these potential clients and make sure that you're not getting a bunch of, garbage essentially dropped onto your calendar. So you're going to use your ISAs to essentially use as a filtration system so that you don't have to spend all of your time making those phone calls yourself, because the national average pickup rate that we've monitored over, tens of thousands of dials, probably hundreds of thousands of dials at this point in our business, we see the national average pickup rate is about 5%. Now, what that means is you may need to call a lead 20 times before they finally answer the phone. And that time is going to add up, especially when you're dealing with hundreds of leads every single month, like in this case here, in order to be doing a large transaction volume. And so when you're dealing with hundreds of leads, you're probably every single month, you're talking about, 4, 5, 6, 8 hours of, just follow-up calls all day long. And as the CEO, you want to be focused on the highest leverage activity in the business, which is going to be meeting face-to-face with actual home, buyers or sellers in person, building those relationships, or, spend more time nurturing your sphere and actually following up with people. Because again, it's like you can still get plenty of business from your sphere. Your sphere is a great place to get business because it's free. You don't have to spend money on marketing in order to get that business. But the only way you make your sphere bigger is by adding more people into your ecosystem. And so this is a way that you can get people into your ecosystem without having to waste a ton of time doing follow-up yourself. So when you have the ISAs in place, the inside sales agents, they can they can make all of those outbound calls, do all of your prospecting for you, and collect information. This is what we specifically have all of our ISAs touching on before they pass anyone off to one of our agent partners. But this is, we have every single person collecting information about their budget, their time frame, their motivation behind buying or selling, their financial status. Are they pre-approved? Are they a cash buyer? Do they need lending? If they're selling their house, are they going to be selling it and buying a new one? If they're selling their house, do they have an idea of how much they're expecting to get for their current property? Have they talked to anybody else? Are they talking to other realtors? Are they represented by anyone else? What are they looking for in their new home? All of these are topics that we'll discuss with, and obviously the number one, thing being motivation, because that's going to be how you're going to be able to, create the best relationship with people. But this is kind of the filtration process that our ISA team will use to sort through those hundreds of leads that are coming in and make sure that we're passing off a consistent flow of deals to our partners every single month. So you can use this strategy for yourself, get your ISA in place, have them make all of the calls, do all of the, outbound prospecting to narrow your list of hundreds of leads down to a small handful every single month. Because if you monitor your pickup rate, if you monitor your lead to booking rate, if you monitor all of your metrics and your conversion rates, you're going to pick up, proper data that you can use to calculate exactly what you need to be doing, exactly how much money or resources you need to be pouring into your marketing campaigns. And so when you have that data and you have a consistent flow of leads coming in every single month, then you have, your ISA team or your filtration system that's narrowing that list down to a small handful. You can have, easily 10, 15, 5 to 10 to 15, quality, high intent buyers or sellers, being connected with you every single month. And when you have that many people coming to you every single month, it starts this compound effect where, if you're acquiring, even if it was just 5 at a bare minimum, like we'll start pretty small. If you just acquired 5 new clients every single month and you focused on the inputs of acquiring new clients, don't think about how many closings am I getting this month, how many closings am I getting next month, because so many agents are just focused on the business that's right in front of them. And that's why they fail in the long run. That's why they have those crazy up and down and up and down and up and down months. It's because they're just focused on the business that's right in front of them rather than focusing on, the next 12 to 18 months to 24 months of potential business coming in the door. So if you just focus on acquiring 5 to 10 to 15 new clients every single month, and you stay in touch with that small handful of people, which is really not that hard to do, you can easily make that happen with, 15, 20, 30, an hour max of, phone calls or follow-ups every single day, which is very, very easy to do. Most agents are spending 2 to 4 hours of lead gen every single day, whether it's making cold calls, they're out door knocking, or they're, putting mailers and envelopes and shipping those goes out to their sphere or planning events, that kind of thing, or just following up with their sphere, things like that. Most agents are spending 2 to 4 hours on lead gen every single day. This is a way that you can make sure that you're not wasting time following up with the bulk load of people who probably aren't going to do anything, because again, it's only a small percentage of people that you speak to that are actually going to move forward on a transaction. And so if you can just focus on acquiring 5 to 10 to 15 of those every single month, there's going to be a compound effect where once you've been doing that for 6 months, 5 times 6, that's 30 clients over 6 months. As you continue to do that, you're going to be able to look back and say, I have 30 clients now, 15 of them are expected to close in the next 6 months, the other 15 are expected to close in the next year or so, and this continues to happen over and over and over again. And then that's when the spiderweb effect kicks in, and that's where you want to get systems like this in place. This is the third pillar of this strategy, which is the automated follow-up. And this is where, and you can do this in any CRM for the most part. You obviously have to know how to build these systems, and I've made other videos that I can link down below on exactly how to build these systems out for yourself. But you want to set up automated drip systems in order to stay in touch with all of the people that you're collecting. Now, that doesn't mean you don't want to be making those phone calls. You still want to be making those calls every single day just to stay in touch and have conversations with these people. But again, those 5 to 10 to 15 new clients that you're bringing in every single month, they're obviously, once they do transact with you, they're going to have friends and family as well that are probably going to move in the future too. So when you stay in touch with your clients, that starts to compound over time, and that's where you start to see those very high level agents that seem like they just always have business coming in the door. It's like no matter what, they're like, and you ask them where it came from, and they're like, oh, well, it was random. The last buyer that I was working with put me in touch with their cousin who ended up buying or selling with me. And it's like, that never, agents think like, oh, that never happens to my clients. But the thing is, it does when you do it at scale. When you're acquiring 5, 10, 15 new clients every single month, there is a massive compound effect where, your clients just start multiplying and you're growing your business, on a much wider scale. When you're focused on business that's going to close in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 2 years down the line, you're able to fill the pipeline with so much more than you normally are able to, than most agents typically focus on. And so those are the 3 main proponents that we focus on when it comes to helping our agents that we partner with get more business in the door. So hopefully this kind of helps to break down the process that we used to get so many agents, so many transactions over the last several years. If you have any specific questions about any of these systems, if you ever want to hop on a call with anyone from our team, to kind of just get a better walkthrough of kind of how this works or what it would look like for you specifically, click the link below. There should be an option to check out our website, see some of the work that we've done with other agents. We also built out a full hour-long course kind of breaking down this entire diagram here, step by step, walking you through exactly how to build this stuff inside your own business for yourself. So if you're an agent who has the time to put into their business, then, by all means, I highly recommend building this system out for yourself. But if you're an agent who has the money but doesn't have the time, then, by all means, you can talk about having, something like this done for you with us. And we do operate on a referral basis with a lot of our agents. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to click the link down below, see if we can help you out in any way. Either way, hope this was valuable, and any other questions, just drop them in the comments.